channel. Today I'm going to give you some tips how you deal with your kids' temper tantrum. So, I'm Rita and today it's all about you. So, what is a tantrum? A tantrum is a release of stress. It's when your kid is in a very big emotional distress. But what happens? Usually these tantrums, they happen in kids between 1 and 3 years old, sometimes a little bit older, until 6. So this is the normal phase of tantrums. Usually we can see the behave, it's an explosion of anger and frustration, and the kids totally lose the physical control. So they kick, they are mad, they scream, they cry, but in a very big way. They can even vomiting, they can hold the breath, and they can break things. And this is when it can be a little bit difficult to deal with, because we have to at least think or try to make them safe. So this is very stressful, not just for the kid, but for the parents too. So why this happens? Well, even this is a phase, this happened because in these early stages or in these early ages, the kid doesn't have the total development of language. So it cannot really have words to express anger, frustration, and he can't really manage what is going around him. He has to deal with all his feelings and no words for the feelings, and at the same time he's trying to understand the world around him. So all of his wants, all of his needs, all of his expectations, they kind of end in this big confusion with no with the learning of dealing with these new emotions. And sometimes it ends in a big explosion, which is a tantrum. But what causes a tantrum? Usually a tantrum is caused by frustration in general. It always depends on the kid temperament. There are kids more reactive than others, but it can be caused by triggers, or usually are caused by triggers. These triggers can be very basic, like stress, hunger, or sleep, or a little bit more overwhelmed, like overstimulation. This overstimulation, usually the kid cannot respond to his own emotions, and this is a safe way to express them. So these emotions usually are anger, shame, and very other emotions that the kid wants to express and doesn't have a word or doesn't know exactly how. But how to deal with these very strong emotional explosions? Well, the first thing as a parent, try to stay calm. Of course, it's not easy, particularly if you are in a social environment. So if you are outside, try to just ignore the comments or the dirty looks of other people. Try to calm down yourself, step away a bit, um, like 1 minute or two. Give this minute to yourself. The third advice is, you can't really control your kids' emotions, so you have to accept it and you have to try to deal with it. Second tip is, be with your kid. So start to talk to him, start to make him understand that you understand his frustration. Tell him that you know that his feeling is strong, and that you really want or need, or whatever the situation is, make him understand that you are with him. Try to be physical with him if it works, like give him a hug, and take him away from these situations. So hold him, cuddle with him, and try to give him all the comfort in a physical way. Be consistent. So don't overwhelm yourself. Don't try to do other things. Just try to be natural and normal, and be consistent in your reactions. Don't freak out. Do something that usually you do in any other situation with your child. Another tip is try to distract him. Sometimes if you offer him a new toy, another toy, if you offer him something that you know that will distract him, he will get away of this emotion, and he will get away of his frustration, and sometimes it helps. Another thing that helps most of the times, or sometimes, it's give him some food, something to drink. Sometimes when these tantrums are triggered by angry or by lack of sleep, so try to see if this is the case, and offer your kid a cuddle. Try to see if he wants to have a nap, and try to see if he wants to have a snack, because most of the times this is something that really works. Have zero tolerance for strong behavior, or even aggressive behavior, like kicking, breaking things, and so on. You have to keep, this is your job as a parent, you have to keep your kid safe. So he can't be in a situations that he cannot be safe, like running away. So if you know that usually, or if he tries to run away when he's having a strong emotion, so please hold him, get him, don't let him beat other people, don't let him beat himself, don't let him throw things and break things, because all of these things can cause other situations that they are not very nice for either of you. And try to be with him, and try to know exactly what is going to happen next, and don't allow this kind of aggressive behavior. If you allow it once, twice, the third time you can't do anything else but just wait that his aggression go away. And you just have to be totally zero tolerant for this kind of behavior. So the last thing I want, or the last tip I want to give to you, please don't feel guilty as a parent if you set limits for your kids. Usually kids need rules, limits, need consistent, needs routine, and offering you everything, you can try to put away triggers that can overwhelm him. But it's important for you to tell him that you will always be there to help him with this frustration and all these situations. You will help him to deal with them, and try not to be overwhelmed with them. So be with your kid, and be consistent, and this will help him a lot. But how can we avoid? Well, there's some simple tricks that can help you with your kid avoiding these situations. The first one is reducing stress. So reduce everything that can stress your kid. You can even try to control his sleep, control his hunger, or the meal times in a way that he can't really get very sleepy or very tired or very stressed about something of these basic things. The other thing that I would recommend is to talk to him, talk to him about his behavior and talk to him about what he's feeling. Try to with him to help him verbalize feelings. This is very difficult for little kids, but there are really good board games or games for kids that identify some feelings that they don't know exactly how to express, but sometimes they can identify with these games. The last thing I want to tell you that it works. It's praise him in a good behavior. So if he's near or if he's in next to some trigger and he reacts in an opposite way, so he reacts not really having a big explosion of emotion, not having tantrums, and in a little bit more pacific way, praise him and talk to him about it and talk to him how it's important to do what he's starting to do near this trigger. When a tantrum is a red flag, usually it happens with older kids. Sometimes older kids can have tantrums too because they have anxiety, because there's something wrong in school, because they have a poor emotional control. But it's a really big red flag. When a kid is biting others or kicking others or really be very aggressive with other people, other kids, teachers, caregivers and so on, or even toward themselves. So sometimes it happens that kids cut themselves or bite or kick head in the wall or some other forms of self-injury. So usually these things are, or these tantrums are very persistent, and when they are very long and very during a very long time, it can indicate a mood disorder. So if your kid is having this kind of behaviors constantly, please go see a professional because he needs to be evaluated and probably he needs a professional help. So it's all for today. I hope you like it. If you have any comment or a question, please leave in the comment section below. If you like it, subscribe and leave a thumbs up. And I hope see you next time. Bye!